Good morning, everyone. I'm Martina Galli from POLI.design, and today I will be moderating the presentation of the Specializing Master in Transportation and Automobile Design. Please feel free to use the chat room to submit any questions you have, which we will address in the second part of the session. And now let me introduce the speakers, Fausto Brevi and Alice Pignatel. I leave you the floor.
Good morning and welcome to everybody. As Martina said, I'm Fausto Brevi and I'm the Scientific Director of the Specializing Master in Transportation and Automobile Design. Let me introduce you this Specializing Master course and its goal. The Specializing Master in Transportation and Automobile Design is a master course in car design from Politecnico di Milano. And its goal is to go in deep in one of the field of industrial design that is very specific and very professionalizing as the car design field is. It will start, the next course will start next month, so very close, and it will be delivered on site. So the goal of this Specializing Master course is to let the students to experience the entire process of automotive design as happen in the design center of the main manufacturer. So not just for the exterior design of a car, that is of course one of the main topics that will be covered, but also interior design, user experience design, and color and trim design, and all the other professionals profiles that are required in creating a new project. At the same time, we will give to students also some skills, included the teamwork management, some information about the intellectual property law in relation with the specificity of this field. Of course, we are inside Politecnico Milano, so our goal is to train students to realize a true design and not just a style design process, but a full design, so a full connection between the technical part and the more aesthetical part of any industrial design process, because this is something that is a goal for every industrial design project here at Politecnico Milano. But of course, for car design, this is something that is more extreme, let me say, because both the technical side and the aesthetical sides are pushed at their limits. We will use some facilities of the design department of Politecnico Milano, and specifically some laboratories useful for creating models, either digital and physical models, because we will train students working on both these kind of models, because today most part of the design process is developed working in digital, but at the end it's a real product, the topic, the goal of the process, and so we have also in the need to realize a physical object. As I just mentioned, our goal is not to be focused only on exterior design. Of course, it's one of the main goals, but at the same time, we want to let students understand how many other professional profiles are involved in designing a new vehicle, and also to let them understand that a lot of the others are highly requested by industries. And especially we will be focused on exterior designer, but also on interior designer, color and trim design. Color and trim means what usually in industrial design is named CMF, so color, material and finishing. That means the choose of textiles, of the paints, of the color, later decorations and so on. And the setup, everything that has been seen and touchable in a vehicle. Then there are other professional profiles. As a visual designer is in charge for realizing images, graphics, both graphics for the project itself. So, for example, all the graphics that are visible to a driver inside the car, but also images of the car before becoming a real product that is possible from which it's possible to take a real picture. Virtual reality, especially after the pandemic time, this virtual reality approach has been pushed a lot for a connection between design centers working also in different locations in the world. 3D rendering images, animation, and so on. Then there is a surface designer. A surface designer means a designer able to build the models. That means not just to draw an idea of the car, but to realize a model that could be a hard model developed at the beginning using clay. That means a soft material that is possible to change for experiment different solutions, but also hard model using 3D printer or a milling machine, and of course digital models, because these technologies for producing the hard models are working using digital models. Then there are UX designer that are an incredibly growing scenario in which they are involved. That means the designer involved in designing the human interface interaction, but also the user experience. That means the experience of the customer that will decide to acquire a vehicle. That is not just the timing in which it chooses to buy that car, but to live an experience, and a real exciting experience. And also all the infotainment that are inside the vehicles, that is a part of the design of a vehicle that is taking more importance year after year. This is the list of the component of the scientific committee. Of course, there is me, because I'm the scientific director, and there is also Filippo Perini, that has been past design director in Lamborghini Automobiles, and then there are other colleagues from Politecnico di Milano involved anyway in car design activities, and also other car designer, professional car designer. And of course Alice Pignatel, that is here on my side, and so later I will leave her the stage. As I said at the beginning, the teaching activities will start soon, because they will start next month in April 2026. The teaching activities are organized in didactical modules that we will see in the next slide, but the one very important thing is that during the last part of the course, the best students could be selected for an internship in companies. We have a network of companies that are interested in having our students for an internship timing, and at the same time, the students that will not be selected because it can happen for several different reasons. Sometimes because some students is not already ready for an internship. Sometimes because his profile doesn't match exactly the needs of the company, and so there are different reasons why this could happen. So we try to push everyone to experience this internship, but if it happens that someone is not selected for the internship, there is another professional course that will be developed here inside the school for completing and finishing the training of those students, and at the same time to simulate anyway an internship situation. At the end, the final exam involve the presentation and the discussion of the team project developed in the car design studio didactical unit. That means to develop a complete car. So complete, I mean exactly using all the skills that I mentioned before. So the ability in defining the exterior design, the interior design, the color and trim part, the UX part, and so on. Of course, using digital models, 3D rendering, animation, etc., etc. About the didactical units, this is the full list of the didactical unit. They are subdivided in 3 main areas. A first area that is more focused on teaching theories and methods, so some methodological way to work in this field. There are 2 basic and very important modules that are focused on how to do the exterior car design and how to do the interior car design. But there is also vehicle architecture that is more focused on understanding the technical side of a vehicle, ergonomics, because any vehicle should respect the ergonomics law for being usable in a comfortable way, and car design culture, that is a travel in the past, in the present, and in the future of the car design. Mainly through visiting either a car museum and also car industries for looking at the real life in these kind of companies. A second area of the didactical units cover the tools and techniques. That means the real practical way to use tools, mainly digital tools, for going on in developing a real design process. So there is a module focused on alias modeling for car design. Alias is the standard de facto software used for 3D models in the design center of car industries. Multimedia tools for car design, that means tools for realizing animation, 3D rendering, 3D rendering in real time, to be used in the virtual room of car industries. Artificial intelligence for design representation, so how to use artificial intelligence in the process of car design. That is not something that will be substitute the work of a car designer, but is a tool that will be managed and used by the car designer, and so it's important to train students for the proper and the best use of these tools. And presentation techniques for car design, that means how to realize images of our project so that can give a nice presentation of the project themselves. The third and last area is the professionalizing area. The more important module is the car design studio, that is where the final thesis will be developed and the full process will be reviewed and applied in a real project. Then there is transportation design workshop, that is with the final S, because it's something that happens several times during the master course. They are short interruption in the standard calendar, usually for 3-4 days, 1 week, in which everything else will be stopped and all the students will be focused in managing full-time a specific small project. So to simulate a real professional situation. Another module is on public speaking and presentation design. That means how to improve the student skills in presenting their project, speaking in a public situation in front of more than just their teammates or a single teacher, but with several people in front of them, and be able to build some specific statement and some explanations that are able to describe their project. In the same direction, there is also a portfolio empowerment course that is focused on how to improve the way to define a portfolio without some mistakes that are typical when you are just graduated and you don't have a strong experience about how a portfolio could be managed inside a company. I already mentioned that there is also some lessons about IP law in automotive design. IP means intellectual property. So this is a small course about your rights and your duty when you are involved in automotive design world. And at the end, I already spoke about the internship or the project enhancement for those students that will not be able for any reason to be involved in an internship inside a company. So here are just a few images from some thesis project developed in the last years. This was a 3 wheels vehicles able to go on the street but also in the water. So not in a high level water, but the basic idea behind this project was that in the future the level of the water of the ocean could rise a bit, and so some cities that are based on a coast situation could have some part of them with water on the street, and so this vehicle is able to manage in those situations. This instead is a real water vehicle able to go on the street but also in the water, and in the water I mean under the water. So is of course a vehicle more for fun rather than for a business use, of course. This is a more traditional vehicle, but is important anyway to explore something out of the box, but also something more traditional for having a full understanding of how to design a real vehicle. These other situations, this is a vehicle for extreme scenarios. This was based in Antarctica explorations. And this is a full autonomous single guy vehicle for going outside and inside buildings. And that's a short exploration about some examples. Now I leave back the stage to Martina for more practical explanation and part.
Yes, thank you very much. I'll take the floor again to provide more details about the application process for the next edition of the Specializing Master in Transportation and Automobile Design, which will begin next month, so in April 2026. On the Specializing Master webpage on the POLI.design website, you will find the full list of the required materials for the selection phase. And then by clicking on the Apply button, you will be able to create your personal account and to upload the necessary files. And then the application will be completed on the Politecnico di Milano website by uploading the documents related to your academic qualifications. If you need assistance during this phase, you can book a call by scanning the QR code in this slide. And then I leave the floor to Alice Pignatel to better explain the next steps you need to follow to take part in this edition of the Master and for this last call, of course.
Thank you so much, Martina, and welcome again to everyone who joined us. Well, as mentioned, we are very close to the starting of the next edition of the program. So to apply for the enrollment, we need both to evaluate your degree, since it's a first level specializing program. It means you need to have a bachelor or equivalent or superior degree. So the first step that needs to be completed by end of March is to pre-evaluate your academic requirement. So apply on the website and complete the validation of your academic requirement. And by the very first day, the very last day before we will be starting the program, you need to actually process the enrollment and verify your academic qualification on the Politecnico di Milano website, since it's Politecnico that will be rewarding your academic process in the master course. Just a few information while you can see here the promo on the programs course we have. A very important part of the application process is sending your CV and portfolio. A drawing portfolio will be fundamental for the application process, since the program is open to people enrolled in Polytechnic degrees like design, architecture and engineering. And we would like to see your approach to the complex shape typical of the car design process. So sending a portfolio with your drawings, the way you approach the understanding and building of complex shapes of the vehicle is the most important part we will take note during the selection process. So please remember that we are looking for creative people, open-minded and able to understand complex shapes, give them a form, and especially to integrate in a very complex field of the design process.
Okay, I think that we're done. We can start by reading the questions that we received in the chat room. So let's start with the first one. Will the projects be developed in groups, or each student will develop his own projects?
Well, the answer in some way was already in one of the slides that I showed before, because the final thesis project will be developed in small team, so in a small group, because one of the very important teaching part for us is also to train students to work in a group, because professional life requires to be able to work in group, because today every project, not just car, every project requires different professionals, different profiles, different skills, and so it's important to learn also how to interact with other people. So at the beginning we will start anyway with the first areas of the didactical units in which every student will work by himself for demonstrate to the teachers what they are able to do. But for the final thesis project, small groups will be created. Usually are grouped by 3 students, because 2 is not a group, is a couple and is something different. More than 3, then it requires more time for going on and working in a proficient way. So the best number is 3, but of course it depends also by the global amount of students, if it's an amount that can be divided by 3 or not.
Yes. Then we have another one. What type of internships will the students have, in companies or in studios?
Both. It depends. We have, well, most of them are in companies, because studios in car design world, there isn't the same attitude to have small studios like could be in industrial design process for other kind, exactly because of the complexity of a project in vehicle and in transportation design.
Okay, thank you. Then, which softwares a candidate should know to be able to apply?
Well, there isn't any specific requirement. Of course, if a candidate has a bachelor in industrial design, we expect that he is able to manage the standard software for managing graphics stuff like Photoshop, Illustrator, and this kind of stuff. Of course, usually students coming from a bachelor in engineer don't know them, but this is also one of the other reasons why the final thesis is developed in small group, because in this way, inside the group, there are different skills also from the bachelor, because also the bachelor, we assume that the bachelor is from one of the course involving in project, but at the same time we know that what is a project for industrial design is different from an engineer and is different from an architect.
Yeah. Then for the next question, you partially answered, but there's a first part. So in this course, is this course suitable for someone with a degree in interior design? Do I need to have some background in car design? For example, knowledge of specific softwares or anything else?
No, and also are more than welcome people with a degree in interior design, because there is a great importance also in the interior design of a car, that is a space to be designed, so is absolutely a perfect profile, someone with a degree in interior design. We had a lot in the past also.
Okay, so thank you very much. This was the last question, so thank you for the presentation.
And thank you to you.
And thank you all for being here with us, but do not leave, stay tuned for the next presentations. Thank you very much.